I always have 3 rods with me if at all possible. I've got 2 medium lights and a medium, and I will throw a hard jerkbait of some sort, probably a cutter, a shallow cutter 90, thinking I can get some walleyes to eat that. It's cold, the water here, you have any idea, Troy?
I think they said it was 42 at the bottom of the dam.
Yeah, so low 40s water temperature. So I think the walleyes, the best way to get them may be with a hard bait, either a hard bait or a jig. And so I'm gonna go back and forth, but I've got Troy's famous little WTF fly, a little swing hook jig, fly, jig, depending on how heavy the head is and what you throw it on. It could really qualify as either. And that's what I'm starting with. And Troy's got a soft jerk bait, basically an unscented gulp minnow, for lack of a better way to put it. And yours on an 1/8 or a quarter?
This is a 1/8 ounce darter head.
He's got a 1/8 ounce darter head. So that bait will go to the bottom quickly.
Very quickly.
And you keep some bottom contact, and I'm sure we'll pick off some rainbows in the process.
Oh,
are you hooked? Oh, there you go, guys. That didn't take very long. Let me get a bait rolled up and out of the way, guys. Is that on that big jig?
This is on the fluke fishing for walleye.
Do you have a walleye?
And I feel like this is a trout. I haven't seen him yet, but it feels like he's spinning, so it's not a head shake, it's more of a spin.
All right, guys, where's he at?
We heard the walleye bite was good.
So that's a soft jerk bait on a jig head. So basically it's an unscented gulp minnow, people, because we don't have anything salted or scented with us. And that, friends, is a beautiful bobo, and he swallowed your jig, bud. I just want to point that out. Guys, it is gone, dude. It is gone. He swallowed that jig. Look at that. I think you should be feeling your bait. Mr. Coburn just commented, guys, and this is like we've been fishing for like 2 minutes. Camera pins around the truck's right there. The parking lot's right there. And we just walked down here, made a couple of exploratory casts to see what we were going to get, and that's a good start. I'm just gonna start off with, holy crap, that's a beautiful rainbow, guys. Look at this thing. And we'll let Troy get a hold of him, get his hands wet, and yeah. So, yeah, Troy, that's a,
oh, wow.
Holy schmoly, that's a good looking fish, guys. Why did we go to the Miracle Mile? I've always wanted to go there because I've heard such great things about it. And I've been a fly fisherman basically all of my adult life. I started fly fishing as a teenager, young teen, and I love to do it. But the thing about that fishery, and what was further displayed to me when we were there, is the bulk of the people were not fly fishing. The bulk of the people there were throwing spinning tackle, even to the point of we found some really big hard plugs. We found a great big giant jerkbait that was hung up in the river. It made it clear to me that a lot of you do spin fish while you're there, and I think that's important because we want to communicate what you guys need to see. And if the bulk of you are going there to spin fish, which was clear on that day, then what we did was very relevant to you. The big trick, the thing that helped us the most there, more than anything else, was casting accuracy and depth control. And those two things cannot be overstated enough. It doesn't matter what kind of fishing you're doing, almost no kind of sport fish fishing, short of just putting bait on the bottom, is depth control and casting accuracy more important. Mr. Coburn, what'd he bite?
He bought a white.
That big fluffy white one you just put on, a plastic one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, where is he? He's over here. And once again, the jig, guys, oh, that's a beautiful, look at the colors on this fish, dude. Oh, bud, look at this fish. Let me get him unhooked real quick. Troy Coburn coming through yet again. Jigs, right? People need to learn to throw their jigs.
Absolutely.
The bottom line, throw your jig.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing better in just an all-around situation than a jig.
You agree with me? If a guy knows one technique, if he can jig, he can catch anything that swims in fresh water.
That's it.
From bass to trout to walleyes to anything. If you're good, if you can throw an 1/8 to a half or 1/16 to a half-ounce jig,
right,
and you can do it well, you can catch everybody that swims in cutie big rainbows like this. Troy, let's let this one go.
All right.
It's a beautiful fish. We've had her in the water the whole time, guys, so we're very easy on fish. And you can tell it's a post-spawn female. We're here in April, and you can see her belly's all sucked in. I'm sure she just got done. But because we keep her in the water, she doesn't even get tired. The other thing that helped us on that show really big time was the ability to make very long throws. And I mean long throws, like 50-yarders all the way across the river. And you can only do that realistically with control, with light braided line. With this heavy head, I can throw it all the way across the river, and then I can fish the whole water column very easy from here. And unless you're in a boat, there's no way you're reaching that bank over there. And I want to keep the bait down in the water column, so the heavy head will give it a chance to do that, and I'll just work it across the current. Now, the first thing somebody's going to say, well, you're going to snag it. Well, I might, but the thing is, as long as I keep control of it, keep feel of it, which comes with a quality rod, and I got the braided line on here, and this, guys, is X9 braid. This is the brand new X9 braid that Berkley came out with, and I love this stuff. It's absolutely bomb-proof. It holds knots really good. It casts fantastic. I mean, that's probably a 50-yard cast. That distance, the ability to throw a long ways and control your lure, gives you the opportunity to fish the opposite side of the river than most people fish. And there's a very distinct times, or there are distinct times, I should say, when throwing into shallow water and retrieving into deep water can be really important. Or the big swing, more reminiscent of the northwestern United States, where you throw 45 degrees across the current 50 yards out there and let the current sweep that jig all the way through the tail of the pools you're fishing.
Right behind that rock. Boom.
Right there.
That's a
So
great
guys, I
cast.
don't want to retrieve it. All I want to do, once it gets over there, is let the current push it and work it with the rod and let it swing. If you've ever been steelhead fishing, we're swinging streamers, so to speak, with a jig. I've noticed I haven't even touched my reel yet. I'll just let that thing work this arc as it comes down around the current. And then I won't reel it till I'm all the way down here. And then I can adjust by my retrieve as far as where it comes across the river by where I throw it on the bank over there. And so if you make that throw enough times, you're going to get bites doing it, I promise you. Really great way to cover a tremendous amount of water, keeping your bait in the strike zone the whole time, and with plenty of hook setting ability from way out there. So like I said, a medium light or medium power rod coupled with braid in the say 8 to 15 pound range, and a high speed reel. We use the little Revo reels on those little Revo MGX reels. Very, very important for just an overall efficient system for getting fish hooked and into hand in a hurry. Big old fish, guys. Oh, dude, he's way down there too. That's a big one. Oh, I think that's a big old fish. I'm not sure. Look how far down there he is. And guys, that's why we put the heavy head on. If you see, dude, that fish has ever been 50 yards away. Oh, bud. Welcome to Wyoming. And you know, we say it all the time, one of the biggest advantages of having a spinning rod in this situation is I can throw it all the way across the river standing right here. I ain't even got my feet wet. And he may not be as big as I think, Troy. There was a lot of current between me and him. Yeah. But he's being real cooperative now. And I want to point out, guys, that this is a 6'8" medium power extra fast action rod, 15-pound braid and a 10-pound leader. So it's that X9 braid and 15-pound, 10-pound, 100% fluorocarbon leader. So what that means is I can get this fish to hand in a hurry. You don't wear fish out, and delayed mortality occurs from fish that are exhausted. This fish will be very green. And I don't know if, oh, he's a nice one. He's not as big as I thought he was. It must have been a lot of current down there, but I will take him, and that's another beautiful fish. Troy, I'm gonna come down there with you. Look at that thing in the morning sun, guys. Does that not a good start to our day, Mr. Coburn?
That's beauty.
Wyoming coming through. I'm gonna be real quick about putting this one back right here.
Oh my goodness.
And that fish will get out of here in no time. And I want to point out, guys, that from the time I hooked that fish 50 yards down the river to the time we netted it was maybe 30, 40 seconds.
Right, you're not wearing them out.
You don't wear fish out, and that's so much better for releasing them. It's a single hook, not gonna hurt the fish at all throwing with the big spinning rod in here, and the biggest thing is the range. You have the big long range.